Ever felt a chill in the air when someone walks into the room? A gut feeling that something isn't quite right? Even when everyone is smiling as we get older, our social circles can shift in unexpected ways. We might notice subtle changes in how people treat us, and it can be deeply unsettling to feel a shift in warmth, or even outright coldness. From those we once trusted, it's a painful reality that not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well, especially when life stages change. And sometimes, those changes can bring out uncomfortable feelings in others. What if there were hidden cues, secret whispers in their actions, that reveal a deeper, unacknowledged resentment? It's not always obvious, and sometimes, the most hurtful animosity is the kind that stays hidden, festering beneath a polite surface. And understanding it, truly understanding it, can protect your peace of mind and help you navigate these complex social waters. In this video, we're going to explore 7 subtle signs that someone might secretly harbor negative feelings towards you, particularly as we navigate the journey of getting older. We'll delve into why these feelings might arise, drawing on a powerful insight from the brilliant mind of Carl Jung, who understood the hidden depths of human psychology. This isn't about paranoia. It's about perception and protection. So, stay with me until the very end, because I'll share something that might truly surprise you about how you can navigate these challenging social waters and keep your spirit bright. Let's begin by tuning into those quiet signals, the ones our intuition often picks up on even before our conscious mind does. The first sign to look for is a sudden shift in behavior or a consistent pattern of avoidance. They used to be eager to chat, quick with a smile, perhaps even sought out your company for a coffee or a quick chat. Now, there's a subtle but palpable shift. Eye contact might become fleeting, or they avoid it altogether. Conversations are cut short, or they seem to make excuses to leave your vicinity, even if it feels a bit awkward. It's not always an outright snub. Often, it's a delicate dance of evasion. They might be too busy when you suggest catching up, or they suddenly have an urgent errand when you approach them in a social setting. This isn't about a busy life or a single missed connection. It's about a consistent, noticeable pattern of creating distance. Imagine a friend who once loved your garden parties, always the first to RSVP. Now, every invitation is met with a polite but firm, "I have a prior engagement," even when you have a sneaking suspicion they have no concrete plans. Or they seem to appear at other similar events. Or consider the neighbor who used to wave enthusiastically across the street, but now quickly turns their head when you're out walking. Or busies themselves with a task until you've passed. It's that feeling of being consistently sidestepped, an invisible wall slowly rising between you. This isn't about a single incident, but a pattern that feels like a cold shoulder, consistently applied. From a Jungian perspective, this subtle avoidance can sometimes stem from their own shadow elements, parts of themselves they dislike or fear, which they then unconsciously project onto you. Perhaps your vitality, your wisdom, or even your mere presence as an aging individual triggers their own anxieties about mortality, lost youth, or unfulfilled potential. They might not consciously hate you, but they hate what you represent to their unconscious fears. And this manifests as an urge to distance themselves. It's not personal in the way you might assume, but it feels deeply personal because it's directed at you. Your actionable step here is to notice these patterns. It's not about confronting them immediately, but acknowledging that this shift is happening. Your gut feeling is often your first best guide. Take a mental note of how often this occurs and with whom. Don't immediately internalize it as a failing on your part. It often says more about them than it does about you. The second sign is passive-aggressive communication. This is perhaps one of the most insidious signs because it's so often cloaked in politeness, often with a sugary coating of "just kidding" or "I'm only trying to help." Passive-aggressive comments are indirect expressions of hostility, designed to wound or undermine without being openly confrontational. They might offer backhanded compliments like, "You look great for your age," delivered with a smile that doesn't quite reach their eyes. Or, "It's so sweet, you're still trying new things. Bless your heart." implying that your efforts are quaint or surprising rather than genuinely admirable. The sting is always in the subtext, the implication that you're somehow past your prime, or your contributions are less significant than they once were. They might also use sarcasm heavily when speaking to you, or make subtle digs about your choices, your memory, or your appearance, then immediately laugh it off as a joke, making you feel foolish for even perceiving the insult. For instance, consider a family gathering where someone says, "Oh, you remember that? Do you? Your memory isn't what it used to be? Is it?" with a chuckle that feels more like a sneer. Or when you share an exciting new hobby you've taken up, and they respond with, "That's nice, dear. But aren't you a bit old for that?" It's designed to subtly undermine your confidence and enthusiasm, to make you feel small or out of place without ever overtly stating their disapproval. It's a constant, low-level emotional sabotage that can chip away at your self-esteem over time. From a Jungian perspective, this type of behavior often reveals the shadow peeking out from behind a socially acceptable persona, the mask we wear in public. The individual can't openly express their negative feelings due to social norms or their own internal conflicts, so these feelings leak out in disguised forms. Perhaps they envy your freedom, your accumulated wisdom, or simply the fact that you've reached a certain stage of life they haven't yet. Or fear. Their hate isn't directed at you, but at something within themselves that your presence activates, and it comes out as veiled aggression. Your actionable step here is crucial. Don't let these comments slide into your self-perception. Recognize them for what they are, expressions of their discomfort and unresolved issues, not reflections of your worth. A simple, calm, and direct question like, "What do you mean by that?" Nigasan can sometimes disarm them, forcing them to own their veiled hostility, or at least making them aware that their attempts at subtle undermining aren't going unnoticed. You don't have to engage in an argument. Just acknowledge the underlying intent, and don't allow their negativity to take root in your mind. These first two signs often operate under the radar, making us second-guess ourselves. But the pattern becomes clearer when we consider how they might also subtly diminish your worth and exclude you. Let's delve into that next. Continuing our journey into these subtle indicators, it's important to recognize that some signs aren't just about avoidance or veiled comments, but about actively chipping away at your sense of value and belonging. The third sign is dismissing or devaluing your experiences or achievements. This sign manifests as a consistent pattern of invalidating your contributions, opinions, or life story. When you share an anecdote from your past, offer a piece of wisdom gleaned from years of experience, or even discuss a recent accomplishment, they might interrupt you, change the subject abruptly, or give a dismissive wave of the hand. They might say things like, "Oh, that's just how things used to be. It's different now." Or, "Times have changed. That doesn't apply anymore." Effectively sidelining your perspective and implying your knowledge is outdated. It's as if your voice, your history, your very being holds no weight or relevance in their eyes. This isn't just a lack of interest. It's a subtle yet deliberate way of asserting their perceived superiority or your perceived obsolescence, as if only what is new and current has value. For instance, imagine sharing a valuable lesson you learned from your long and successful career, only for someone to immediately interject with a story about a much younger person's fleeting success, or to simply stare blankly and then pivot to a completely unrelated topic as if you hadn't spoken at all. Or perhaps you're telling a cherished family story that brings you joy, and they roll their eyes, sigh dramatically, or check their watch, as if your memories are tedious and irrelevant. This isn't about simply forgetting details or a momentary distraction. It's about a consistent message that your past, your wisdom, your very story, holds no value in the present conversation. From a Jungian perspective, the collective unconscious holds powerful archetypal patterns, and in some ways, cultural narratives can unfortunately diminish the value of elders. Individuals might unconsciously tap into this collective prejudice. Their devaluation of your experience might stem from their own insecurity about their future, or an unconscious need to feel ahead or more relevant. It could be their shadow's fear of becoming irrelevant projected onto you. manifesting as a need to make you irrelevant first. It's a defense mechanism, a way to boost their own ego by subtly cutting yours down. Your actionable step here is vital. Don't let their dismissal diminish your self-worth. Your experiences are valuable. Your life story is rich, and your wisdom is a gift. If someone consistently devalues you, it reflects on them and their own insecurities, not on you. You can choose to limit sharing deeply personal things with them, or calmly state, "I believe my experience is still relevant," or "I was sharing that to offer a different perspective that might still hold true." You are not obligated to entertain their disrespect or internalize their short-sightedness. The fourth sign is excluding you from social gatherings or conversations. This is a more overt, yet often unspoken, form of social distancing. You might find invitations to group events that you were once a regular part of suddenly stop coming your way, or you hear about gatherings after they've happened from someone else. In conversations, people might subtly turn their backs towards you, whisper amongst themselves when you're nearby, or simply speak as if you're not there, directing comments only to others. They might deliberately shift the topic to something they know you have no knowledge of, or create inside jokes you're not privy to, leaving you feeling like an outsider. This isn't accidental. It's a deliberate, though often silent, decision to create a perimeter around you, making you feel like an observer rather than a participant. For example, you might notice a group of friends, including the person in question, planning a weekly coffee meetup or a dinner, and you're consistently left out, even if you were previously a core part of similar activities. Or you join a conversation, and the energy immediately shifts, voices lower, or the topic quickly changes to something you can't contribute to, leaving you feeling excluded and awkward. The silence when you approach, or the quick, uncomfortable glances, can be just as loud as an outright declaration of, "You're not welcome." From a Jungian lens, exclusion often relates to the need for group cohesion and identity. If someone secretly dislikes you, they may consciously or unconsciously perceive you as a threat to their group dynamic, or simply an other they wish to distance themselves from. This can also be a manifestation of herd mentality, where one person's dislike can subtly influence others, or where a group projects its collective shadow onto an individual. They may feel a need to reinforce their own group's identity by defining who is in and who is out. And unfortunately, you might be designated as out. Your actionable step, while it certainly hurts, recognize that not every group, or every person within a group, is meant for you. If you're consistently excluded, it might be a clear signal that this isn't your tribe, or at least, this person isn't someone who truly values your presence. Don't chase acceptance where it's clearly being withheld. Instead, seek out connections with people who genuinely appreciate you for who you are and celebrate your presence. Sometimes, self-preservation means recognizing when to gently step away from spaces that actively diminish you. The fifth sign is subtle gossip and rumor spreading. This sign is often the most difficult to pin down because it happens behind your back, making it hard to confront directly. You might start hearing subtle whispers, veiled comments from others, or a general shift in perception about you from mutual acquaintances that you can't quite explain. The person who secretly dislikes you will subtly plant seeds of doubt, share unflattering and often exaggerated or untrue anecdotes about you, or simply highlight your perceived flaws to others. They won't do it directly to you, but they'll ensure the information circulates, eroding your reputation or standing within a social circle. This is a quiet campaign of character assassination, aimed at isolating you by shaping how others view you. For example, you might notice friends or family members suddenly asking loaded questions about your recent decisions, or making comments like, "I heard you're not doing X anymore," based on information you know came from the person in question, but was twisted or exaggerated. Or you feel a general shift in warmth and openness from people who used to be friendly. Without understanding why, you're left feeling like there's an invisible smudge on your reputation, but you can't quite pinpoint its source, except for that specific individual who seems to know just a little too much or says just a little too little. From a Jungian perspective, gossip and rumor spreading can be seen as a manifestation of the shadow in group dynamics. The person doing the gossiping is often projecting their own insecurities, jealousy, or unresolved conflicts onto you by diminishing your standing. They might unconsciously attempt to elevate their own. It can also be a way for them to gain social currency or control within a group by being the purveyor of inside information, creating a sense of being in the know at your expense. The hate here is channeled through social manipulation, aiming to strip you of your social capital and connections. Your actionable step if you become aware of gossip or rumors: resist the immediate urge to confront the source, especially if it's the person you suspect, as it might just escalate the situation. Instead, focus on your behavior and relationships. Live authentically and with integrity. Your actions speak louder than any whispered words or fabricated stories, if it significantly impacts your relationships. Address it calmly and factually with those you trust, simply clarifying the truth without getting emotional. Don't internalize their negativity. It reflects their character and their unresolved issues, not yours. These signs, though often subtle, can leave you feeling undervalued and isolated, but the impact can run even deeper, touching on your emotional well-being, as we'll explore with the next two crucial indicators. As we delve into the final two signs, understand that they are often the most telling, revealing the deeper emotional cost of these secret animosities, and they frequently leave a lasting impression on our energy and peace of mind. The sixth sign is a stark lack of empathy or support in your difficult times. When life throws you a curveball, whether it's a health challenge, a significant loss, a personal struggle, or just a really bad day, the true colors of those around you often become apparent. Someone who secretly harbors negative feelings will exhibit a profound absence of empathy or support, even when politeness and common decency might dictate otherwise. Instead of offering comfort, a listening ear, or even a simple practical offer of help, they might be strangely distant, dismissive, or even seem subtly pleased by your misfortune. They might quickly change the subject when you share your struggles, minimize your pain by saying things like, "Oh, it's not that bad. Is it plenty of people have it worse?" Or perhaps offer cold, empty platitudes without any genuine warmth. Their responses feel hollow, and you're left feeling more alone and isolated than before, even if they are physically present. It's the absence of true human connection and compassion when you need it most, a silent void where warmth should be. For example, imagine confiding in someone about a recent health scare, only for them to immediately shift the conversation to their own minor ailments. Or worse, to offer a judgmental comment about your lifestyle choices that they perceive led to your problem. Or when you share news of a significant loss, and they offer a quick, almost indifferent, "Oh, that's a shame," before quickly moving on to discuss their weekend plans or a superficial topic. The stark contrast between their coldness and what a truly supportive friend or empathetic human being would offer is palpable. It feels like a silent betrayal, leaving you feeling exposed, vulnerable, and profoundly uncared for when you need kindness the most. From a Jungian perspective, this lack of empathy can be a profound manifestation of the shadow operating within them. Their secret dislike means they may derive a perverse, unconscious satisfaction from your struggles, or perhaps your vulnerability triggers their own unacknowledged pain, fears, or anxieties, leading them to withdraw rather than offer compassion. It could also stem from envy, if they secretly resent your past successes or perceived advantages. Your moment of weakness might feel like a balancing of the scales to their unconscious mind, making it hard for them to offer genuine sympathy. They aren't consciously cheering your downfall, but their inability to connect empathetically speaks volumes about their internal landscape and their true feelings towards you. Your actionable step here is critical. This is a vital sign to observe and act upon. True friends, true allies, and genuinely caring individuals show up during your darkest hours. If someone consistently fails to offer genuine empathy or support when you are vulnerable, it's a clear indication that their feelings towards you are far from positive, and they may even secretly wish you ill. Protect your emotional well-being by not relying on them for comfort or understanding, and certainly don't expect them to be there for you when it truly counts. Direct your vulnerability and your trust towards those who genuinely care, and demonstrate it through their consistent actions, not just their words. The seventh and final sign is a pervasive energy drain or feeling depleted after interactions with them. This is perhaps the most subtle, yet profound, sign because it's less about what they say or do overtly, and more about how you feel after spending time with them. Do you consistently feel mentally exhausted, emotionally drained, or even physically weary after an interaction with this particular person? Even if the conversation seemed superficially pleasant or unremarkable, do you find yourself dwelling on the interaction, feeling confused, uneasy, or even slightly depressed? Long after it's over, it's as if their hidden negativity, their unresolved resentment, their unacknowledged dislike acts like an invisible siphon, draining your vital energy and leaving you depleted. This isn't just about being tired after a long day. It's about a consistent, unexplained sense of diminishment in their presence. A feeling that your inner battery has been significantly drained. For instance, you just had a seemingly normal conversation with them over coffee. Nothing overtly unpleasant happened. You exchanged pleasantries and discussed ordinary topics. Yet, you walk away feeling inexplicably heavy, perhaps with a slight headache, a sudden wave of fatigue, or a powerful urge to just lie down and disengage from everything. You might replay the conversation in your mind, searching for what went wrong or what they might have said, but find nothing concrete to pinpoint. The feeling is not of joy or connection, but of being subtly diminished, like a balloon slowly deflating. Crucially, this happens consistently, specifically after interactions with this person, and not with others in your life. From a Jungian perspective, Jung spoke about psychological complexes and their energetic impact. When someone holds hidden animosity, their unresolved emotional charge or their unconscious negativity can be felt. Even if not consciously expressed, this energy drain can be a manifestation of their unconscious projection of their own shadow onto you, or simply the weight of their unexpressed negative emotions weighing down the space between you. Their inner turmoil, when directed even subtly towards you, can create a palpable psychic burden. It's like walking through a dense fog of unspoken resentment. Your own energy field reacts to theirs, and if theirs is polluted with negative feelings about you, you're bound to feel the effects. As your intuition picks up on their unspoken animosity, your actionable step here is to trust your intuition. Your body and mind are powerful indicators of your well-being. If someone consistently leaves you feeling drained, regardless of their words, it's a strong signal that their underlying energy is not in harmony with yours, and may even be actively hostile. Limit your exposure to such individuals. You don't owe anyone your energy, especially if they are implicitly depleting it. Prioritize your peace and vital force. This might mean gently reducing contact, choosing different social settings where their presence is less impactful, or simply creating strong mental boundaries during interactions. We've explored these 7 subtle but powerful signs that someone might secretly harbor negative feelings towards you as you get older. The sudden shift in behavior and avoidance. The sting of passive-aggressive comments. The quiet dismissal of your wisdom and experiences. The painful sting of social exclusion. The insidious spread of subtle gossip. The chilling lack of empathy in your time of need. And that profound energy drain after every interaction. Each of these signs, seen through the insightful lens of Carl Jung's understanding of the human psyche, reminds us that what appears on the surface isn't always the full story. These behaviors often say more about the person displaying them, their own fears, insecurities, and unaddressed shadow elements, than they do about you. Remember, discovering these signs isn't about fostering paranoia or becoming overly suspicious of everyone around you. It's about empowering yourself with awareness. It's about understanding that not all negativity is openly declared. And sometimes, the most challenging emotions are the ones that simmer beneath the surface. Your worth, your wisdom, and your light do not diminish with age. They deepen and grow, becoming richer and more profound. And anyone who secretly wishes to diminish that is simply dealing with their own internal battles and projections. By understanding these dynamics, you can protect your peace of mind and choose where to invest your valuable time and energy. I truly hope this conversation has given you some valuable insights and perhaps a sense of validation for those gut feelings you've had. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Have you recognized any of these signs in your own life? What strategies have you found helpful in navigating challenging social dynamics as you've gotten older? And how have you protected your peace? Please share your wisdom and experiences in the comments below. Your insights could be a beacon for someone else navigating similar waters. And together, we can build a supportive community. If you found this video helpful, if it resonated with you and brought you a new perspective, please consider giving it a thumbs up. A like helps others find this important message and supports our channel. And if you want more empowering content, more discussions that help you live your best life at every age, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Navigating social landscapes can be complex, especially as life evolves and relationships shift. But by cultivating awareness, honoring your intuition, setting healthy boundaries, and surrounding yourself with genuine connections who uplift and celebrate you, you truly can live your best life, filled with joy, respect, and vibrant energy. No matter your age, embrace your journey, cherish your peace, and continue to shine brightly.